Welcome to my vlog, Mrs. Felina Capulso. If you are new here, please do hit the subscribe button down below and like my videos. Anyway, today we will be talking about registering yourself to UK GP in your area. Without further ado, let us do that now. Anyway, so in your browser, you can do this in your mobile phone, in your laptop, in your PC. It doesn't matter. It will just go through. Anyway, as an example here, I have opened my browser. I have typed find a GP. So it will link you to like gov.uk, finding a GP. Then let's just accept all those cookies there. It will ask you your postcode. So as for example, my postcode is a secret. Then it will just show up all the GP surgeries that is near your area. But of course, just a reminder, there are some people that are very particular with their GP. They wanted a good rating, etc., a good service, and things like that. However, based on my experience, even though I choose a better star rating, good service GP, if I am not in that area, if I'm too far in their catchment area, they would not accept me. As for my experience, if you have somebody who had a different experience, then I'm glad for them. But as for me, they did not allow me, and they have suggested me a GP that is in my catchment area, meaning there are only certain places that they can cater in this GP surgery, which they would just reach. I don't know how wide their area, the area that they would cater. But if you are beyond that address anymore, they won't accept you anymore, especially if you are a new registering for a GP. Once you have found the GP that you like, I also suggest that it's better to have it the nearest one. So if you have checkups, or if you need to visit the surgery to get your prescription, etc., it will just be near, and it's just a walking distance from your house. So that is a better way for me. But if you have a car, probably you're fine with the farther one. But as again, it depends on the area where you are in, if they will be able to cater you in that address. Let's talk about that experience later after this registration part. So if you would go to their website, which I would suggest, because if you would call the GP surgery, it would take you more time. It would take you time to be able to be entertained. The call is really such a waiting time. I have never had experience that I was answered right away. It's always been such a waiting time, a queue in calling the GP. So if you could find this, if in your GP they have a website, find the area where you could just register online, where you can download their form, and then you would just fill that in. Then you could just email it to them. They would, in every GP, as I have experienced, they will always provide you a number, an email address, and a downloadable form. However, if you are not that techy and you want to do a registration by hand, by paper, then you could just visit that surgery instead and ask for their form of registration. They would also be happy to give you one, and then you can just submit it right away. As for me, I am more of an online form lady, because I am not that keen to always going to these clinics and etc. If that's the only thing I need to do and I can do it online, then I'd rather choose the online way. So if ever you'll be like me, that to have the online way, just fill that up and then get the email address that they have provided. Just the heading that you would say that I am registering a GP, and then just attach your form over there and give them like a week, a 5 working day or 2 weeks, and then you could just call them to inform that you have emailed if they have received. And if they have received it and they have already processed it, just ask for your NHS number. It's very important that you would know your NHS number as well, because in the future, if you need to be hospitalized or whatever, then you have an NHS number that they could trace your records. Also, if ever you will be changing address in the long run, the NHS number, you could also use that for them to trace your records for your new GP. So remember that NHS number. Some GP, well, not probably my GPs that I have experienced, they have always sent me a post mail regarding welcome to the GP surgery, blah blah blah, these are your details, and they would do send you one, but it will take quite a long time. So that's why if you are really keen to having your records up and you wanted to really know earlier, just phone them. Allot a day for you to phone them, because it will take quite time to be answered by your GP surgery. And then I think that's more like it. That's how I process it. For your dependents, are they okay to be registered in the GP surgery right away? Yes, they are as well. So what you will do is the same thing, especially for your husband or partners or anyone who is 18 and above. They would do it on their own because you are not their dependents anymore. You know what I mean? They're already adults, so they could do that in their own. But you can just guide them how to do it as well. Or you can just fill that in for them and then let them sign and the signature part. Then for your children, it is very important, not really important, it is very convenient for you to register them right away, especially if they are younger kids, because they would be able to trace the immunizations and what are the other immunizations that they haven't done, that they can provide while they are in that age. And mind you, these are all free. Then they would be the one who would remind you, who would message you that your child, this and that, is due for immunization for this and that, and things like that. So it's very important. You don't have to chase your doctors anymore for this, but GPs will do their job to trace your child's immunizations. So as the flu vaccines every year, especially if they don't go to school yet, but if they do, flu vaccinations usually are given at school already. Anyway, you as a mother or someone who is a parent can register for your child. Then you would just email the surgery as well. You can just email the surgery as well that this is for my daughter registration. I am the mother. Then provide your details in the email and then attach their form as well. So each surgery has different kind of forms to be filled in, but I guess they are all just straightforward and easy to fill in. All medications that is prescribed for your child below 18 or below 16, I'm not so sure about those two, but they are free. Prescriptions are free. But for the adults, you have to pay prescriptions. Every prescription you have to pay, and it also depends on where you are. Not whole UK do as some. I think Northern Islands doesn't have any payment for prescription or anything, but I haven't tried it because I don't need any prescription as of the moment. Thank God I am healthy, and I hope you are too. So we don't have any experiences unless we are quite sick or something, like we need antibiotics for whatever chest infection, God forbid, and then they would give you prescription, then you have to pay for that prescription and things like that. Okay, so next, if one day you would change address and it's quite far from that GP surgery, the GP surgery that you had wouldn't know if you have transferred, wouldn't know if you will not change your address. You can only change your address most likely if you call and update the surgery. But they don't automatically transfer you to the new GP that is near your new address. So it's up to you if you would transfer right away or not. You could still continue to go to your old GP. It's up to you. You only can transfer once you want to be transferred. Already, they don't do that automatically. They don't say, you have changed address, your GP will be now. They don't do that. So if you like how far your GP was, then it's fine. But if you choose to transfer, just what I did, then it's the same process again, that you have to go to their website of that new GP that you have, then fill in the new form, everything the same. But when you email, as I have emailed, I have just provided that I was in this GP surgery with this address I had before, but now I have transferred to this address and would like to be transferred in your GP, as this is the most accessible GP that I could have, and things like that. They do transfer them. Sometimes they don't inform you anymore as well. So always ask them, but give them time. Please do give them time. They're always busy as well. So give them time, 1 to 2 weeks. If you are not in a hurry, give them 2 weeks. And then when you call, just ask them that if they have received your transfer of GP that you have emailed, and then they will just ask your name and etc. And then they would say, yeah, you are in the system already. So that's a cue that you have been transferred. What else do I need to remind for a GP? What else? I think that's more like it. Why I have discovered that if you are far away from that address, from that GP, and you are not under their catchment area, they don't accept that, because I have experienced it with my dependents. My dependents, I have registered them in my old GP because when they were not here, I was living in that area, and I want to have the same GP for all of us, so that I don't, like, maybe my OCD-ness, or I just want them, like, I just want my whole family to have the same GP, because I think, like, it's easier for me to call. I don't need to think about another GP and things like that. However, when I email them and I have provided that new address that is away from that old GP that I had, I mean, do you know what I mean? Do you get it? Then they emailed me back that said, oh, I'm sorry, we are very sorry to decline your registration of your child's GP under us due to the address that you are currently in is far away from our catchment area, etc., etc. My registration in that old GP still stays. They don't say I'm not in the GP anymore. However, with the new one, with my child that wants to be registered there, couldn't do so because of the address. So then at that moment, I have just registered it to the nearest GP address of that new address that we had. Then now I have settled and everything. We have again transferred to our final flat, which is near to my old GP. So I don't want to go that far again for my daughter's GP when she needs some vaccinations or checkups or things like that. So I had to transfer her records again to that old GP that I had. So these are all my experiences that I'm sharing to you. So that is what I did. I have again downloaded their form, filled it in, and then emailed them stating that we have transferred to the permanent address that we are having now. Then that's the time that I have the NHS number of my child and everything. So they have just had all her records for the immunizations. And currently, we are all settled with the GP, so as my husband. And my husband already had experience with the GP service, especially when he had some case of high blood pressure and etc. So we're all satisfied and we're happy for that. And if you want if you do have any questions that is not clear, just comment down below. I'll try to answer them, but always remember that is all gonna be just based on my experiences. If I cannot answer that, that means maybe I am beyond that information already. I couldn't help you with that. And thank you again for listening and for viewing and for watching my YouTube videos. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my videos. This is again Mrs. Felina Capuzzo trying to pay it forward. Guys, I hope you would be able to subscribe on my channel because my next topic would be how my husband got a job 10 days after he arrived. I want to share you that opportunity as well for his experience, especially for dependents who are trying their best to find a job that would help their family. I hope you'll stay tuned and see you next video. Goodbye.